Hey everyone, and happy Easter. I'm April and this is Eric. We are pumped for what's about to happen. Before we get started, there's only one thing you need to know. Easter Jam is for everybody in your family.
That's right. So if you're a teenager, this is for you. You too, college students, and if you're a younger kid, get ready. We're about to have some serious fun, and we need you to lead the way. Adults, buckle up. This is Easter like you've never done it before.
No matter who you are, we want you to know that Easter Jam is for you too. The only way to not have fun is to not participate. So look around. Is anybody missing? If so, hit that pause button and go get them now.
We're getting started in 3, 2, and 1.
Easter, a time for fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies. And then there are the weird parts of Easter, like fake grass, plastic eggs, these things, chocolate bunnies, and people dressed as bunnies, which is interesting. But what does all this stuff have to do with Easter? And if this holiday is about more than candy and wearing uncomfortable clothes to church and lunch with your relatives, what makes Easter happy?
Okay, hear me out. There are only two kinds of people in the world. People who hate these things and people like me. I love them. I mean, I know they're cute and a little grainy, but they're delicious. Let's see how your family feels. Show me a thumbs up if you love these things and a thumbs down if you don't. Okay, there are a lot of different opinions out there. No matter how you feel about eating Peeps, you're gonna love this game. Your family is gonna face off in the greatest Peep jousting competition of all time. I'm gonna explain how it works and then I'll tell you when to start. First, divide the room into 2 teams. Take 2 Peeps and assign them to a team. If you don't have any Peeps, no worries, big marshmallows will work just as well. Team A gets Peep A, Team B gets Peep B. You can come up with cooler names like Lord Sugarcoat or Sir Sprinkles. You get the idea. You can also use a marker or a Sharpie to decorate your Peeps. Give them some personality, draw a mustache on your Peep, give them some mean eyebrows or a fancy outfit. Let your creative juices flow. Next, you need to prepare your Peeps for battle. Stick a toothpick in each Peep and prepare them for battle. Think of the toothpick as a joust, a lightsaber, or sword. It just depends on how serious your family is about competition. Make sure the toothpick is facing towards the other Peep. Place the 2 combatants on a microwavable plate. No social distancing is necessary. You want the Peeps to be close together and facing one another. Finally, time for the big event. Gather around and put the plate in the microwave. Setting the timer to 45 seconds. You won't let it run that long. In fact, don't let it run that long. Then press start. Watch at a safe distance until the Peeps drop the toothpick sabers and one touches the other. The toothpick that touches the other Peep first wins. As soon as this happens, you're going to want to stop the microwave. Trust me on this one, families. You're going to want to stop it. Okay, it's time to settle this thing.
So how did it go? Who won? I want pictures. Post them with a hashtag WellspringMBKids or hashtag WellspringStudents. I have to admit, that was a lot more fun than I thought, and also, this happened. Ready for another game? For this one, you need a laundry basket and socks. Lots of socks. Clean or dirty, it doesn't matter as long as you have a match. If you need to go grab those things now, press pause and then I'll explain. Got your basket and socks? Great. Now choose 2 people to play. You'll also need 2 people to be scorekeepers. To get started, dump all the socks on one side of the room and don't worry, those socks will make their way back to the basket really soon. Then place the basket on the other side of the room. When I say go, players will grab a sock, go through the pile to find a matching one, roll the socks together in the shape of a ball or like an Easter egg, and then toss them across the room into the laundry basket. The player with the most socks in the basket at the end of the timer wins. If you don't have scorekeepers to help you count, then you'll have to keep up with that number on your own. That means everybody on the honor system, all right? Parents, I'm looking at you. Okay, if needed, press pause now to get everything and everyone in position for the game. I'll wait right here. Everybody ready? Awesome. We're putting a 1-minute timer on the clock. The Easter egg throwdown is happening in 3, 2, 1, and go! All right, families, come back over here. Who won? Okay, that was fun. Whoever won gets socks. Just kidding. Adults, make sure whoever won the challenge gets a special treat today. Maybe one of these things, or maybe not. I hope you're having fun so far. We're celebrating because it's Easter. If you don't know the whole story of Easter, that's okay. Today we'll talk about what makes today, maybe more than any other day, a happy day. But before we get there, I know you have lots of family and friends who would love to hear from you. And to make that happen, you have a few options. Pause this video and pick one of the challenges on the screen to wish your peeps a happy Easter.
Okay, so I just got like 9 texts from my family saying Happy Easter. Thanks, guys. Even though we're celebrating a little differently than we have before, that's okay. Easter is still happy. And that's not just because of Peep Wars or Easter baskets or chocolate bunnies. Although those things are all awesome, it's still happy because of what happened thousands of years ago, the first Easter. It's the most powerful story ever told. Yet, it's so simple. So simple that it can be told with laundry.
In the beginning, God created everything. He formed people in His very own image. But then, we turned away from God. Sin entered the world, like a dark stain. Still, God loved us so deeply that He made a plan to rescue us. At just the right moment, God sent His very own Son, Jesus, to live among us. Jesus healed hearts and minds and bodies. Thousands gathered to hear Him teach. Instead of giving lots of new rules, Jesus turned things upside down by making it simple. Love God, love others. After 3 years of traveling and teaching, Jesus and His disciples entered Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover feast. Huge crowds gathered to welcome Him. But while the crowds cheered for Jesus, the religious leaders made plans to arrest Him. He was turning their world upside down, and they wanted Him gone. As Jesus celebrated the Passover meal with His friends, He told them that He would be leaving, but would return. His friends didn't understand. That night, one of Jesus' followers, Judas, led soldiers to arrest Him. The religious leaders gave Jesus a fake trial and then sent Him to Pilate, the Roman governor, who could have Him killed. Pilate found Jesus had broken no law and tried to release Him. But a mob called for Jesus to be killed. Pilate gave in and handed Jesus over to the Roman soldiers. Jesus was forced to carry the heavy beams of His own wooden cross. On a hill called Golgotha, the soldiers nailed Jesus' hands and feet to the rough wood. The soldiers and people who passed by laughed and mocked him. But from the cross, Jesus asked God to forgive them. Finally, Jesus called out, "It is finished." Then he died. The earth shook. Rocks split open. Even the soldiers cried, "Surely he was the Son of God." One of Jesus' followers took his body and placed it in a tomb cut from the rock. A huge stone blocked the entrance. Jesus' friends were devastated. They had believed that Jesus was the one God promised, the one who would rescue them, but now he was gone. Their whole world had turned upside down. Jesus' friends stayed hidden in fear for 3 days. But early Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene, a close friend of Jesus, hurried to the tomb. She planned to anoint Jesus' body with special spices. As Mary neared the tomb, she saw the stone had been rolled away. The tomb was empty. Mary turned to see a man standing near. She didn't recognize him until he said, "Mary." It was Jesus, alive. Jesus told her, "Do not hold on to me. I have not yet ascended to the Father. Instead, go to those who believe in me." Jesus, God's Son, became like us to lay down his life. Through God's power, he defeated death for all of us, and sin was washed away. One day, he's promised to return, so we can live with him forever.
I hear that story every Easter, and it always amazes me. God sent Jesus to the world to remind us that he is greater than anything that can go wrong in our world. The simple fact that Jesus came back to life is proof to me that I can face anything bad that happens. I like to think about it this way. I can because Jesus is alive. I can keep loving because Jesus is alive. I can be brave because Jesus is alive. I can have hope because Jesus is alive. Here's an idea. Take a few minutes and add to this list of things you can do because Jesus is alive. Answer this question as a family. How would you fill in the blank? I can blank because Jesus is alive. Pause the video while you discuss. When you're finished, meet me back here. Awesome. I love conversations like these because remembering what God has done in the past helps me to trust him with what's going on in my life right now. I hope that's true for you too, and I hope you spend the rest of the day making happy memories with your family.
To get you started, here's one last challenge. For this one, you'll need to decide who's the technology genius at your house. Maybe it's a step-parent, an aunt, or an 8th grader. Either way, decide who that person is right now. Got it? Awesome. As soon as this video is over, I want you to go outside and take a family Easter photo. You can be dressed up or in your PJs. It can be totally normal with smiling faces or silly with one of those filters that turns your face into a bunny rabbit. No matter how you do it, take a family photo and make it awesome. Then share it to social media or keep it to yourself to remember this unique time.
Maybe now more than ever, this is a time to celebrate and remember God's faithfulness and the hope he gives us in Jesus. After all, that's what makes Easter so happy.
Happy Easter.
Thanks for joining us.
Through the fire, you're always speaking. Just a word has the whole earth shaking. Yes, our God cannot be moved. In a world of hate and vengeance, your word speaks of forgiveness. Yes, our God cannot be moved. Yes, our God cannot be moved. Unshakable love, unshakable love. Your kingdom forever stands. Your love, it has no love will be our light. And I can see that the day is dawning.